This conference will now be recorded.
All right, I'll start again. Welcome to the Public Information and Education Committee and special meeting of the Board of Directors for the West Basin Municipal Water District. It's October 14th, 2020 at 11:02. I'll call this committee meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Is there any public comment, Patrick?
No, Madam Chair, there's no public comment that I'm aware of.
Are there any presentations?
Chairwoman, no, there's no presentations.
We'll go to the action calendar, Patrick.
Okay, good morning, Chairwoman Gray, members of the committee, members of the board, and public. We do have a single item today on the action calendar. And we had a similar item come before the committee earlier for our Cash for Kitchens program. And this involves Allegra Consulting, which is handles our Change and Save Disadvantaged Communities program. And because of COVID, we have some modifications to their scope and the cost of the work they're doing, all fully refundable under the DWR grant. And I have Mr. E.J. Caldwell, Manager of Water Policy and Resources Development, to handle this. Good morning, E.J.
Good morning, Patrick. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee and board. Let me first begin by stating congratulations to our board president, Director Gloria Gray, for her re-election as the chairwoman of Metropolitan Water District yesterday. It was very exciting to watch and see. And as Patrick mentioned, this item is very similar to a previous matter that we brought before you last month. And I'll provide a bit of context. As you know, the COVID-19 crisis pandemic has really required that we all kind of take a look at all of West Basin's programs and projects and really try to see how to safely implement those in our communities without putting people at risk. Just last month, we brought forward the amendments to the agreements for Cash for Kitchens, as we hope to revamp that program in order to get into those kitchens, commercial kitchens, and implement that program. And likewise, today we have our Change and Save program, and we hope to amend the consulting services agreement to provide a new scope of work for Allegra Consulting so they can begin to implement the Change and Save Disadvantaged Communities program once again. Before you, you have a board memo. It begins on packet page 3 and provides a bit of background on the program. The program was initiated back in 2017 when West Basin was awarded a water energy grant from the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $506,500. This program was intended to provide water conservation and education in West Basin's disadvantaged communities. As part of that effort, in November of 2019, the West Basin Board of Directors approved a one-year agreement with Allegra Consulting to assist West Basin staff in promoting and implementing the Change and Save Disadvantaged Community program. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw great success in the program. Allegra Consulting was really able to alert our communities about this program targeting the disadvantaged communities. And once word got out, they used incentive programs to get and spread word of mouth so that each time we would have a successful survey, more and more people would learn about the program and more surveys would be done. I really want to note that I'm very proud of West Basin staff, both Gus Meza and Jennifer Vasquez, because this is no easy feat. When you have a program that's up and running and an implementation strategy, and you're faced with a pandemic or an emergency, it really takes a lot of analyzing the program to find out exactly what's salvageable and what needs to be amended. And I think our staff has done an excellent job of pivoting and finding a way to implement this program. So as such, Gus Meza has prepared a PowerPoint presentation. It's included in your packet. It's attachment F, and it starts on page 35. And I'll walk you through the amendments of this program. So let me first begin by identifying all of our project partners. This includes the Department of Water Resources, who obviously provided the grant, Metropolitan Water District, as we utilize that grant money to supplement a lot of the programs that Metropolitan Water District has. And as one example I'll give you, Metropolitan Water District currently offers an $85 rebate for new clothing washers that that are water use efficient. We obviously take that $85 rebate and we supplement that and have now offered a $500 rebate. We also have SoCal Water Smart, the South Bay Environmental Services Center, who assists us in implementing the program, and Allegra Consulting. If you could turn the slide. Thank you very much. So this provides the just brief background. As I mentioned, in 2017, we were awarded the grant by the Department of Water Resources. In 2019, we entered into an agreement with Allegra Consulting. The program implementation was originally scheduled from February 11th, 2020 to June 30th, 2020. You can tell that that's a very condensed time period, but we really felt that this program, once implemented or once launched, we would have a tremendous turnout. And we began readjusting the program in March of 2020 due to the COVID-19. If you could turn to packet page 38. As part of the program grant requirements, West Basin utilized the following Cal EPA map to target the highest scoring communities shown in red. These are our target communities as far as education and marketing, and it represents our disadvantaged communities. However, it's worth noting that 25% of the program is eligible for non-DAC areas. If you could turn to packet page 39. Allegra assisted West Basin with several different aspects of the program. They conducted 500 in-home and online surveys. They distributed 500 conservation kits to the recipients of those surveys. They developed program websites and videos. They developed marketing materials, developed metric and marketing reports that we receive monthly, and provided residential customer service for anybody that has questions about the program. If you could turn to packet page 40. In working with West Basin staff, Allegra developed a program brochure, postcard, a promo, and do-it-yourself video. And again, I want to give credit to West Basin's in-house public information staff, as they've done an excellent job of really guiding the hand of Allegra and producing these materials, as we've received tremendous feedback about the great look of really everything. And the fact that it includes at all times the West Basin branding components is really exciting to see. If you could turn to packet page 41. One feature of the program is West Basin's $500 rebate for the purchase of a high efficiency clothing washer. We learned early on that some residents struggled and needed further assistance. Allegra and the West Basin team developed this step-by-step guide, which really walks you through the process of purchasing your high efficiency clothing washer and of course getting your rebate. The majority of residents who did apply were people that needed some assistance, whether it was online, technical, or just kind of guiding through the process. So again, a lot of credit goes to Allegra, as well as the South Bay City's Council of Government and the South Bay Environmental Services Center. If you could turn to packet page 42. Allegra kept track of who was utilizing the devices, and here we have some of the information that they provide on a regular basis. They also tracked all marketing efforts. West Basin did learn that residents prefer to be notified through email and direct mail, so we've been learning about this process as we go through it. And we also learned that residents in the disadvantaged community areas would like the information to be in both English and Spanish. If we could turn to packet page 43. Although this program was primarily targeting our disadvantaged community areas, we did have participation from all our divisions. The majority of our disadvantaged communities are in divisions 1, 2, and 5, but we also had participation from our other divisions, including divisions 3 and 4. So our targeting efforts were successful by looking at the three numbers plotted in the map ahead. You can see the map just to your right. And we also provided a chart there that identifies all of the different rebates. It's important to note that when we talk about the clothing washer rebates, because of the mandated split, only 25% of the funding available can be utilized for non-disadvantaged communities. So working to ensure that those funding opportunities were available for the disadvantaged communities, some of those applicants that apply for those washer rebates, they're only receiving Metropolitan Water District's $85. If you could turn to packet page 44. We just have a few more slides to talk about how we were adjusting the program. If you could turn it now to packet page 45. So obviously COVID-19 provided many challenges, not only with the rebate application process, but also as far as outreach goes. Due to this, West Basin staff created more resources to assist customers with the rebate process. Staff also worked with the Department of Water Resources to make a few adjustments. Our original goal was to issue 714 washer rebates at $500 each, but due to COVID-19, we had low rebate participation. Therefore, the Department of Water Resources has approved to reduce the number of rebates from 714 down to 400 rebates at $500 apiece. And as you'll recall from the previous slide, we've had roughly 61 of those 400. So we are now working with Allegra as far as taking on a new outreach approach to perhaps get the word out and try to utilize the full 400 rebates. What this adjustment does is it allows us to shift some of those funds that were available under that $500 rebate now to different aspects of the programs. So what you'll see now are additional surveys and additional conservation kits that we can provide not only to our disadvantaged communities, but throughout our West Basin service area. If you can turn it to packet page 46. In order to achieve the new aspects of the program, West Basin staff has received a proposal from Allegra Consulting to assist West Basin with our new goal. This will allow us to extend the term of the program, so allowing Allegra more time to work through this COVID-19, but also adjust some of their tactics in order to achieve our measurable goals. So if you could turn it to packet page 47. Allegra provided a full proposal that is attached as attachment A to your board packet. Shown here is a high-level view of the tasks and budgets it will work on with West Basin staff. Task 1 would be to program administration and management. This would be a continued operation, but for a longer period of time. Task 2 would be marketing, outreach, and implementation of that outreach, again for an extended period of time. And task 3 would be to develop and produce marketing collaterals. Again, we've had to adjust our time frame as far as the applicable term of the program. So we need to educate the public on that matter. So we'll have to adjust some of the marketing collateral materials. In the table, we also show how the DWR grant funding will be allocated. West Basin has also utilized a funding agreement with MWD. We are planning to utilize $25,620 from our MWD funding to assist with task 1 and task 2. And this is important to note because there will be no new funding required from West Basin. West Basin staff has done an excellent job of identifying eligible programs and projects with Metropolitan Water District and really maximizing the value of the Department of Water Resources grant. If you could turn to packet page 48. This slide provides the scope of work items to include and notes the outreach and marketing customer service components. They'll be updating email flyers and develop a deployment strategy. The social media content will be developed throughout the campaign, and they will work with community groups to promote the program as they've done in the past. In addition, there'll be website videos, the development of a WordPress website in English and Spanish, and 3 videos designed to educate disadvantaged community areas and residents. And this is vital to this outreach effort because, as you recall, initially we were planning to have and host indoor group meetings. And obviously our communities are very hesitant to do that. And some of our locations, whether it be a school or a city building, may be closed. So these website videos will be vital to our efforts. In addition to that, the surveys, kits, and rebates will be adjusted. There will be 500 online conservation surveys, 500 conservation kits, and we will promote the 400 closed washer rebates as well. If you can turn to packet page 47. Oh, excuse me, packet page 49. I apologize. I know this presentation covered quite a bit, but there's been many successes despite the many challenges that we've faced. We've also learned quite a bit about our capabilities when it comes to online marketing and online classes, online surveys. So at this time, Chairwoman Gray, staff can read the recommendation that's provided in your board packet.
Yes, please. Please move forward with the recommendation.
Yes. Staff's recommendation is that the board authorize the general manager to amend agreement W2891 with Allegra Consulting for the Change and Save Disadvantaged Communities program in the amount of $131,682 plus a 3% contingency of $3,950 for a total increase of $135,632 for a total not to exceed amount of $320,632 and extend the contract through September 30th, 2021. And outside of that staff recommendation, I just want to point out once again that while we'll be adjusting the program and the implementation of this contract, this covers all of the costs of the program, and there will be no costs borne on West Basin Municipal Water District. All funds will be pulled from the Department of Water Resources grant, as well as available Metropolitan Water District programs. Madam Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Congratulating me on being reelected to chair, and thank you for your presentation. Are there any questions? First, I'll go to Director Williams. Any questions, Director Williams?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just would like to say that this is an outstanding program, and I really do appreciate the presentation was really right on. Would this be considered a zero match for West Basin, or will we consider our money added to the rebate as a match to the grant?
So West Basin's contribution to this program is in kind. So our staff time provides the offsetting matches to these programs in the Department of Water Resources. So the funding for the Allegra Consulting program, primarily, as well as mixing and matching the implementation aspects of the program with available MWD programs. And again, I use that as an example. When we pull the money for the washer rebate, when we couple that with an $85 Metropolitan Water District rebate, now West Basin only needs to contribute the $415 through the grant program to make that a $500 rebate without any cost borne to West Basin. So it's a mixture of the contributions. It's really, and again, a lot of credit goes to staff for being creative and maximizing the funding that's available for these programs.
Outstanding. Madam Chair, I would suggest that this move on to the board for approval.
Okay, thank you, Director Williams. Any other questions from any other board member? Right, hearing none, I agree with Director Williams, so we will move this forward with a recommendation for approval. And thank you, EJ, so much. Thank you so much. All right, the next item, really this information, Patrick, Mr. Scales, what do you?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, great presentation, EJ, excellent.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
We have 3 items on the information calendar today. We have our standard monthly media report and communications update for the month of September. And we will have a tag team between the social media aspects and the print media report update taken care of by Matt Fay, our public information specialist 2, and then Deanne Blackman, our public information specialist 1. So Matt, I believe you're up first.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Good morning, and thank you, Chairwoman Gray, members of the committee and board. I'm going to actually have you move down to packet page 85. There's a number of the articles that were printed ahead of this, so you might have to scroll down a ways to get there, but we're going to start out on packet page 85, and I'll give you just a few seconds to get there in your own notes. Okay, so as you'll see here, we had a number of activities that happened over the last month. We had 2 press releases that went out last month. The first went out on September 14th, which was the West Basin Water Lab program. That's our new virtual learning program, outreach and education program that we're offering service area wide. So that went out on the 14th. And then on the 22nd, we had another press release that went out that is for our virtual career day video series and panel that's taking place currently. We also posted a news story to our website about the virtual field trips program. This is the highly successful and popular program with local schools that's especially popular because of the COVID-19 shutdowns that are in place. And my colleague Janelle will be providing some more details on that later in the committee. And then the final thing there is the electronic newsletter, the e-blast that went out related to the Water Lab program. That also went out on September 14th to coincide with that press release. And in a couple of slides, I'll be providing you with some of the analytics from that newsletter that went out to about 4,000 people. So we'll move to the next page now, packet page 86. Again, this is just the press releases that I mentioned earlier. The one on the left was the virtual career day series. That's the panel is actually taking place tomorrow. And again, Janelle will be providing some more information on that in just a few minutes. The press release on the right was from our Water Lab. That's the program that's ongoing. We held our first event on September 30th. It was called our Know Your H2O webinar series. And the event drew about 40 people to the first event, which we were happy with those numbers. And we're going to continue that series later this month. Let's go ahead and move to packet page 87. I already talked about the virtual field trips program, but on the right, you'll see the Water Lab e-blast that went out. We ended up with about a 25% open rate of that e-newsletter. Again, that went out to about 4,000 people, so about 25% of them opened it up. And of those, we had a 10% click rate who clicked on one or more of the stories that we had embedded in the newsletter. That's a good click rate. It's above the industry average. And then we ended up with about 135 unique clicks of the different stories in there. Moving on to packet page 88. I guess before I go into this, are there any questions from the previous few slides? Okay, if not, then I'll go into this next page, which gives some of our media coverage from the last month. And again, we're doing something different now where we're providing copies of the stories as part of the agenda packet rather than as a separate handout. So you'll see all of those further up in the agenda packet if you want to review those stories, and we're going to continue to do that going forward. So there was a number of Water Lab, Know Your H2O webinar series, articles, and community calendar items that posted in the last month. There was some desalination related articles that posted in the last month, and then there was also various district election stories that happened as well. On to the next page, packet page 89. The other one that I want to mention is the second one down there, and our partners, the SoCal Water Coalition, posted a news story in their newsletter about our Sophie Stadium recycled water project that recently was completed, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about that on the next slide. So let's move to packet page 90. So again, we were featured in SoCal Water Coalition's newsletter that was able to generate actually some positive social media coverage of that story. And then we're actually planning to do our own press release of the Sophie Stadium project here very soon, along with some additional social media and other supporting outreach efforts. You can also see there some of the events that are taking place, and then also, as I mentioned, some of the district election news items that are currently taking place. Go ahead and move to packet page 91. So this is something that we started doing last month. We want to provide you with sort of a look ahead to our future outreach and advertising initiatives, campaigns, opportunities. So that's something that we hope that you will find useful going forward. So let's go ahead and move to packet page 92. So a few of the things that I want to highlight on this page are one is our high efficiency clothes washer rebates that EJ talked about quite a bit. And in his presentation, we're actually planning to do a direct mail initiative, a postcard within the disadvantaged communities. These would be the same communities that participated in other aspects of the Change and Save program, but we want to target some of these areas specifically leading into the kind of in lead of the holidays to take advantage of when people might be utilizing these types of rebates to purchase a new device. So that's something that we're going to be implementing here in the next month or so. In addition, the Sophie Stadium Recycled Water Project, we are planning to issue a press release and do put some news on our website, do social media. That's coming very, very shortly. Another thing I want to point out is the landscape classes that Metropolitan is putting on right now is we're really trying to push people into taking advantage of the $3 turf rebate that we offer, to take advantage of the free online classes that Metropolitan is offering. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're promoting that both in English and Spanish. There's an October 21st webinar that's coming up that's going to be conducted in Spanish, and we've been doing some targeted Spanish advertising to get some of those folks to participate in these classes as well. At the same time, our consultant in the Malibu and Topanga area is doing some similar marketing for the $5 rebate that exists in that area. I also wanted to mention two other things. One is that, of course, with Chairwoman Gray's recent re-election, we're planning to do a press release here very shortly. We also have already done some social media on that, and we'll be continuing to do look at other ways that we can highlight that and promote that going forward. And then the last thing I'll mention is that Melissa Buendia from our PI team will be representing West Basin at a future Aqua webinar that will be taking place on October 21st. She'll be talking about our Summer Splash program, possibly our Water Lab program, just all the different things that we put into place when the COVID-19 shutdowns occurred, and how West Basin was kind of an innovative leader in adapting to that new reality, and how we adapted our programs to be able to offer these virtual programs. So she'll be serving as an ambassador for us on that front. So that completes my prepared remarks, but I would be happy to take any questions that you might have before I turn it over to Deanne.
Questions, board members? All right, thank you, Matt. I don't hear any.
That's great. This is Carol. Hi there.
Yes, Director Kwan.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say that I attended, I think, your first Water 101, virtual meeting. It was great. You guys did a wonderful job. I think Carol, Janelle, and Melissa, and I'm pretty sure it's a team effort. It's very informative. Yeah, it's very interesting. And then, a lot of attendee as well. Thank you. Thank you, team.
Thank you, Director Kwan.
Thank you, Matt. I don't hear any other comments or questions. So thank you for the presentation this morning and for the work that you do. So we'll go to Deanne.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you, Matt. Good morning, Chairwoman, members of the board and committee. Congratulations again, Chairwoman Gray, on your election as Chairwoman of the Metropolitan Board of Directors. Now I'll be covering some additional planning opportunities, including Imagine a Day Without Water, district awards, and then I'll close with the district's social media efforts. Starting on packet page 93. The district is planning to participate in the 2020 Imagine a Day Without Water campaign on October 21st. Imagine a Day Without Water is a national education campaign that brings together diverse stakeholders to highlight how water is essential and valuable and in need of investment. This year, the Day of Action will take place on October 21st and will include events, resolutions, student contests, social media engagement, and more from various agencies across the country. Imagine a Day Without Water raises awareness about the value of water and the need to invest in water and wastewater infrastructure by asking Americans to imagine a day without life's most essential resource. Outlined on this slide is an overview of the district's participation history, as well as the plans for this year's participation, which include a web news story that will include campaign assets and resources, and also redirect to Imagine a Day Without Water campaign website, and some additional social media posts. As you can see, in 2017, we did social media posts, and then we also had a mention in the Director Byline LA Sentinel op-ed. In 2018, we had another social media post and a proclamation presented to West Basin by the Malibu City Council. Last year, in 2019, we had a proclamation from the Board of Directors, which also included a photo opportunity, a press release, and a social media post. This year, considering the circumstances, we're opting for a web news story, as mentioned, and a social media post. Are there any questions about Imagine a Day Without Water? If not, I will move on to packet page 94. Recently, the district was recognized for its water recycling and conservation programs with the awards listed on this slide. The district has also submitted to additional awards and the applications are pending. Notification for the Government Technology Award is actually expected this month, while the Aqua Huel Hauser Best in Blue Award will be announced at the Aqua Fall Virtual Conference on December 2nd and 3rd, in which the district is actually a finalist for a Summer Splash program. Moving on to packet page 95, just want to showcase some highlights, including the Utility of the Future Today recognition, which is a prestigious recognition from multiple federal agencies, including Water Environment Federation, National Association of Clean Water Agencies, Water Research Foundation, and Water Reuse Association. The district was recognized for its water reuse program in a virtual ceremony that was held this past Friday, October 9th at WebTech Connect. I believe some of our staff were present for it, and the recognition certificate is included in the handout packet, page 55. We received a banner, and we're actually exploring how to display it at either Donald Dale Deere Building or at the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility. Additionally, as you can see, the engineering news record, West Basin received the Regional Best Project Award for the Hyperion Secondary Effluent Pump Station Improvements Project. And that we actually plan on, we did place an ad in the September 28th to October 5th issues of the Engineering News Record Southern California edition, which we should be receiving in the office pretty soon. We also ordered 2 plaques, and we have social media, we did a social media post and a press release for that. Additionally, we did receive the Hermes Gold Award for Best Integrated Media by the Association of Marketing and Communication Professionals for the Change and Save High Efficiency Washer Rebate Program, with an emphasis on disadvantaged communities. And we are expecting to receive the actual award, the physical award, into the office sometime soon. I believe that came in. If there are no questions about the awards, I will be moving on to social media, starting on packet page 97.
Thank you. Go on, Diane.
Thank you. So as we continue to work on implementing the social media strategic plan, the district continues to use it as a guide to reach the goals laid out in the plan, revising as needed based on special circumstances. As you can see here, we're keeping track of progress by calendar year, and we're currently working to revise these goals with the understanding that these goals were developed last year prior to the pandemic and changes to various district programs. So we recognize that some revisions may need to be made. Now moving on to packet page 98. The district Twitter page earned over 3,500 impressions without any paid content and continues to see an increase in followers. The most popular post actually happened to be West Basin highlighting that we were sponsors of Water Reuse Symposium, where Patrick our general manager, and Director Gray were actually speakers and panelists. So this also showcases our online presence and visibility kind of within the water industry as well. Moving on to packet page 99. During this time period, the district Facebook page saw an increase in impressions and clicks on the links that we post, with some social media paid posts as well. The most popular post was a post welcoming SoFi Stadium as a new recycled water customer and promoting the story in the e-newsletter. I know Matt mentioned it earlier on, and it was more focused on the final stages of the project completion, but we do have additional posts scheduled or planned for once we announce the actual completion of the project. Moving on to packet page 100. Similar to Facebook, the district Instagram page saw an increase in impressions and followers, as well as engagement with our posts. The most popular post being a post encouraging educators to sign up for a virtual tour of the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility. Moving on to packet page 101. Finally, the district's LinkedIn page continues to see an increase in followers as we've increased our following in the past month to a total of 841 followers. And the most popular post is a post encouraging potential applicants to apply for an open position with the district. I'd be glad to answer any questions about social media or any of the items that I mentioned at this time. If not, that concludes my report.
Hey, thank you, Jan. Are there any questions? And thank you for your report, and thank you for the congratulations. Did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to Janelle. Is that you? Janelle?
Yes, thank you.
Oh. Yeah, thank you. Our next item is item 6B on the information calendar. And by the way, thank you for the great presentation, Matt and Deanne, on the previous one. So we have our Public Information Specialist 1, Janelle Ankian, who's going to do the education program update. Janelle?
Thank you very much, Patrick. Do you hear me okay?
Janelle, you sounded a little bit different. Can we go ahead and start?
Good morning, Chairwoman and members of the...
Try again, Janelle.
Hello?
Let's have our IT guys that's offline, Janelle. What we'll do, Madam Chair, if it's okay, we'll take the next item until we fix the audio on Janelle's end. Is that okay, Chairwoman? Okay, so we'll move then to item 6C on the calendar, which is the conservation program update. We will have EJ and Jennifer Vasquez, our water policy and resources analyst, to handle a tag team on this conservation programs update. EJ, do you want to start?
Yes, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee and board. On packet page 112, you'll find the conservation program update for this month.
Janelle, can I swing?
And as you can see, and as we mentioned in the previous action item, West Basin's water use efficiency conservation staff have really done an extraordinary job of taking all of West Basin's programs when it comes to water use efficiency and really playing into the conditions that we face right now with the 2019 pandemic and really trying to maximize all of our programs and projects, whether it be through outreach, education, and really keeping those programs up and running. The first program update we have for you is the Change and Save program, and we've gone through it in pretty good detail in the earlier action item. But I just wanted to again highlight some of the program modifications. Staff, as I mentioned, has worked with the Department of Water Resources to modify and extend the grant agreement. This will allow us to continue the program for an extended period of time. The program vendor, Allegra Consulting, has now provided staff with a new proposal to promote and provide additional surveys and conservation kits as part of this program. And staff will continue to bring this item to all of its future committee meetings for further review and to discuss all of the programs and program goals. If you can turn it to packet page 113. The next item that we have for you is the Malibu Smart and Topanga Smart programs. Obviously, due to COVID-19, certain elements of the program are currently on hold. Staff is working with its consultant, R.W. Jones Agency, and its program partners, the City of Malibu and the Los Angeles County Waterworks District 29, to develop a non-contact webinar version of the firescaping class. Staff has received a proposal from Metropolitan Water District to convert the classes to webinars and to utilize its member agency allocation funding. And I point this out because this is an additional opportunity where West Basin staff is utilizing existing programs and then partnering that or coupling that with existing MWD funding available to maximize the value. R.W. Jones has submitted a proposal to West Basin to conduct additional firescaping webinars in the City of Malibu and the Topanga area. And staff will bring an item to a future committee meeting to review and discuss the proposal for additional firescaping webinars in the Palos Verdes Peninsula. The next program I wanted to highlight is our rain barrel distribution events. As you know, we typically host these events every year. We host anywhere from 5 to 6 distribution events and try to give away roughly 2,000 rain barrels every year. Unfortunately, that program requires us to have numerous volunteers as well as staff and our project partners from the South Bay Cities Council of Governments. So staff has put together an excellent implementation strategy on how we can distribute as many rain barrels as possible. The goal of the pilot program is to produce and deliver 1,000 rain barrels to residents within the West Basin service area this year. Staff will promote the program throughout all divisions and strive to provide an equal share within each division. We'll utilize alternative marketing strategies from our previous use of door hangers to avoid individual contact with homeowners, but we will have direct lines of communication with single-family residents who we hope will take advantage of the program. Staff will continue to update the committee on the development and progress of this new pilot program, and I know that Gus Meza next month will provide additional detail on the implementation strategy. And last but not least, before I hand it over to Jennifer Vasquez, I want to provide just a brief overview of the grass replacement rebate program. MWD's regional rebate program is currently operational, and West Basin continues to augment the rebate by adding an additional $1 per square foot to MWD's currently $2 per square foot incentive for a total of $3. Total authorized amount of $100,000 has been included in this year's current fiscal budget, 2020-2021, from the West Basin Municipal Water District. And so we are continuing to operate with the advocacy strategy, not only in our residential, but our CII, our commercial, industrial, and institutional sectors. And I do know that in speaking with Jennifer Vasquez, she's created a direct link with Metropolitan Water District staff to coordinate, because there is some kind of tracking efforts going on to make sure that we balance it and try to utilize as much of that funding as possible. So please note that as this report begins in the new fiscal year with applications received from July 1st, 2020 moving forward, you can see right now that we have 22 applications for a total square footage of 39,615. So we're off to a good start. Again, we hope to continue to work with our communities and get the word out. And as I transfer this over to Jennifer Vasquez, our staff, I know that she's extremely knowledgeable about this program and probably has some information to add. So I'll throw it over to her now, and she can add any items that I might have missed and then walk through some of our remaining programs. Jennifer?
Great, thank you so much, EJ. Can everyone hear me just fine? Perfect. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Gray and members of the committee and board. I will begin at board package 113. I think we skipped a little bit over, but that's completely fine because the table that's on the screen is perfect. One thing that I did want to cover regarding grass replacement rebate applications, as EJ mentioned, a total authorized amount of $100,000 has been included in this fiscal year. In the first 3 months, we've actually received a quarter of this funding amount, and it has already has been paid out. So that's really encouraging to see, because we basically are on track to spending that amount if applications continue. And we see here on the screen that applications are coming in. It captures all applications as of Thursday, September 24th. However, staff is happy to report that a total of 9 applications were actually received for the month of September, with increased activity in the first few days of October. So we're really on track to hitting that 100,000. And like I mentioned, we're a quarter of the way spent of that amount, which is encouraging to see. And our team, of course, will continue to monitor the activity district-wide and collaborate with the PI department to promote this rebate into the fall. I think the activity that we're seeing now is primarily this time frame. There is a lot of messaging, not just from our district, but from other agencies, really promoting fall planting. So we're seeing a lot of activity in these last few months in September, October timeframe. Moving on to the grass replacement class section, right below, still continuing here on page 114. Staff would like to update that Metropolitan will continue offering 3 online class webinar topics, which include the California Friendly Native Plant Landscape, turf removal and garden transformation, and the newly released garden design workshop. Additional dates were added just this week, offering these webinars into early December. So they are actually adding more classes as we go. And we're hoping to see new dates released for 2021 starting soon, hopefully soon, just to be planning ahead for those residents that are applying for the rebate. They have those classes available to them. I just wanted to touch a little bit about the garden design workshop, just so you're aware of what it covers. The garden design workshop covers the steps to successfully design a residential water-wise landscape. So it really does focus on capturing rainwater, creating a list of climate appropriate plants, and applying basic design guidelines. This really came about just as a background from residents requesting more information about the design aspect for their applications. That really is where residents have some challenges with regarding their design, and so they want to know what Metropolitan is really requesting when it comes down to the design. So this class is meant to assist those residents in that stage. Residents learn how to contour their garden and capture rainwater, and create a list, again, of the plants that are needed. One addition recently was the Waterwise Garden Guidebook that came about when the webinars were released, and that provides the landscape design tips, step-by-step guidelines to help residents through the process in their garden transformation. And this workbook serves as the main reference document for all of the 3 webinars, and can also be referenced for residents if they are not able to attend the webinars or would like to just review it after the class. Again, staff is collaborating with the PI team to continue promoting these classes through the Water Lab, a digital experience campaign. And as Matt mentioned earlier, we are working together to really promote the Spanish class that will be occurring October 21st. Metropolitan is testing out these Spanish webinars, which is the same information that is offered through past dates, and we are hoping to get involvement within our district in this Spanish class October 21st. And we will, of course, continue to promote these classes and monitor the attendance. I will take a brief pause for any questions or concerns regarding anything grass replacement. EJ did a great job covering most of it, and I added along about the applications. But if you have any questions regarding grass replacement, I'll take a brief pause now before moving on to Cash for Kitchens.
Madam Chair. Director
Graham?
Williams here.
Yes, please. You have a question?
Just a quick question. How many square feet of turf is considered a large area of turf?
It really, large area turf regarding, so residential applications are 5,000 square feet, and that's the maximum. Commercial applications can go up to 50,000 square feet. Is that what you were referencing regarding the square, like what sends it over from residential to commercial?
Yeah, so if I have, so if you have less than 5,000, square feet, that's considered a small
Residential.
area of turf?
That goes through the residential program, which is, yeah, that would be any homeowner can apply up to 5,000 square feet, because that can include their front yard, that side yard along the house, and also the backyard. So yes, that would be, if your home, basically the maximum is 5,000 square feet. However, commercial applications, so that would be areas like schools, large office buildings, if they're considering drought tolerant landscaping, those can go up to 50,000 square feet. So it allows for that maximum amount of 50,000 square feet for an application.
Well, I asked the question because most residential tracts in the lawn area is somewhere around 600 square feet. So that would be considered a small grassy area or a turf area.
Yeah, so it varies. We see anywhere from a small 600 square feet application to some that come close to maxing out at the 5,000 square feet, but all of those, the minimum is 250 square feet. So it can be a small area that you apply for the grass replacement rebate. It just has to be larger than 250 square feet, which is usually, depending on that parkway area, that strip of grass between the sidewalk and the street, that can be, in a combination of the front yard. It just has to be a minimum of 250 square feet, but that would fall within the program. Great. If there are no other questions, I can move on to Cash for Kitchens.
Actually, this is Director Houston. Madam Chair, I have a question.
Director Houston.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Just two questions. I think I heard you mention, so how much of our $100,000 amount has been utilized so far, approximately?
Approximately a quarter of the funding has been used currently. So roughly 25,000 of that has been used, and in the 3 months that we've had the grass replacement rebate available for this fiscal year.
Okay, great. And then the other question is, in this report, I don't see those charts that we were getting from Metropolitan that showed us how much as a whole Metropolitan's used or spent. Maybe those can be put back in, just so we can kind of see how much Met is continuing to get the dollars out the door. So thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll take a note of that for the next report.
Thank you.
Great. If there are no other questions, I can move on to Cash for Kitchens. Let me go ahead and find that. Okay, so the Cash for Kitchens program updates actually begin at the top of board packet page 115. And so following last month's board approval, West Basin staff collaborated with program partners Green Media Creations and the South Bay Cities Council of Governments to complete the following activities in September. We, of course, processed the board approved contract amendment with Green Media Creations to extend until June 30th, 2021. Staff hosted a planning meeting to discuss potential strategies for reaching restaurants and commercial kitchens. And October, of course, will be used to update the marketing materials and develop online portal components, which was part of that proposal that we brought forth last month. Additionally, the completion of the portal is estimated for early November, and then we will release the program. We continue identifying any opportunities to promote the device rebates, which again include the ice machines, the dishwashers, and the steamers for large device rebate amounts that are still available for restaurants and commercial establishments, and commercial kitchens, I should say. And so lastly, I'll move on to the ocean-friendly garden section on page 115. West Basin and its contractor, Swayser Landscapes, completed the regularly scheduled maintenance visits at all 5 demonstration gardens for the month of September. Staff recognizes that additional gardens may face landscape maintenance challenges and is prepared to address the growing need for increased training, design consultation, and on-call maintenance visits as directed by the board. For example, we received an additional request identified from Cal State Dominguez Hills. We will be addressing that shortly. Staff is beginning planning efforts to introduce a training webinar for current city and school staff managing and maintaining the ocean-friendly gardens, and these training resources will be made available to all of the ocean-friendly garden staff, not just the 5, but all of the garden staff for ocean-friendly. Staff will return to the board with future recommendations on ocean-friendly garden maintenance in upcoming months. And that is the last of my update. I am now available to take any questions you may have, and thank you so much.
Jason, are there any questions from board members? I don't hear any requests. Thank you very much. And Patrick?
Yeah, Chairwoman, thank you again, Jennifer and EJ, for great updates. So we're going to go back now to the item we skipped over a few minutes back on the information calendar, item 6B, education program update. And Janelle, I believe you worked with our IT to work out some of the audio. So if you could, please give us our report. Good to see you.
Hi, Patrick. Do you hear me better now?
Yeah, that sounds more like Janelle, yeah.
All right, perfect. Happy Halloween. Good afternoon, Chairwoman and members of the board and committee. I'll echo my colleagues' congratulations to Director Gray for your re-election as Met Chair, but again, I will be covering agenda item 6B, which gives the board an update of our online education programs, including virtual water recycling facility field trips and 2 pilot programs. So I'll first be going over virtual field trips starting on page 103 of the agenda packet. And as of September 25th, 128 students have been served through 6 virtual field trips. That updated number as of today is 306 students served through 14 virtual field trips. Field trips are typically conducted 3 times per week, with 1 staff member supporting from home and another staff member live streaming from the facility in El Segundo. It features interactive opportunities to engage students and still have the valuable educational elements of seeing live technology at the facility. 110 virtual field trips are available for the current school year, with the potential to serve up to 3,300 students. 80 virtual field trips for approximately 2,000 students have already been reserved through March, leaving 30 more dates available for reservations through June. A participation summary by division is attached to this report for your review, starting on page 105 of the packet. The field trip program has already provided much needed curriculum and support for teachers during this difficult time. And I'll stop here for a few seconds to see if there are any questions from the committee regarding virtual field trips.
Are there any questions, board members? All right. I don't hear any. Now, please continue.
Thank you. All right, moving on, I'll be discussing the Water Industries Career Panel pilot program, which is presented in partnership with the Water Replenishment District. And if successful, education staff will continue to redevelop and provide an annual careers program to local students. The goal of this specific program is to encourage primarily high school to early college students to explore a wide variety of water industry careers available to them. This program includes pre-recorded video interviews of our very own operations manager, Uzi Daniel, and operations analyst, Jason Kung. The program will conclude with a live guest panel featuring Uzi, Jason, and 2 WRD representatives for students to get career advice and insight from these industry experts. And as of this morning, we have 115 attendees signed up from within the region. And for example, some schools that are attending include Lawndale High School, Palos Verdes Peninsula High School, and El Camino College. So again, the student-only panel takes place tomorrow at 10 a.m. over Zoom, and we look forward to providing the board of directors with an update of how that panel goes. And I will stop here to see if there are any questions from the committee regarding this career pilot program.
board members? Janelle?
Great, thank you. And lastly, the next pilot I will discuss is a new one called A Drop in the Bucket, offered by the local nonprofit Wildwoods Foundation, who is currently partnered with the LA Department of Water and Power. And as you all know, the closure of the Sea Lab in Redondo Beach left West Basin without the Conservation Corps-led Splash Science Assembly program. So A Drop in the Bucket aims to provide an interactive experience that will teach students about their water sources and practical water conservation techniques. And this pilot will inform education staff if a long-term partnership with Wildwoods is justified and may replace the former Splash Science Assembly program. We are currently pending the finalization of an agreement, and once complete, we'll have 40 virtual assemblies available to all schools within the district service area. And we expect that many LAUSD teachers will be taking advantage of this program due to Wildwood's strong existing partnership with the school district through LADWP. And our staff plans to continue to update the board regarding these pilot programs and the status of winter education programs, such as the Water is Life Art Contest, which is set to launch in January of 2021. And that concludes my presentation. I am happy to take questions if there are any. Thank you.
Are there any questions, board members? Janelle, I don't see any. Thank you very much for the congratulations so much for your report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick?
Yeah, thank you, Janelle. Wonderful report. Madam Chair, that brings us to closed session. We do not have any closed session today, so that brings us to director's comments / future agenda items.
Breakfast, do you have any comments this morning? Afternoon?
You want, Madam Chair?
Director Williams.
I just want to apologize for not being completely on the part of the program about the turf. My phone and my computer went down same time, so that's why I wasn't there. But I do want to say congratulations to you again on your victory, because it was a tough road to hoe, but you made it. And I just want to say you make me very proud of you and West Basin. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is Director Don Deere. May I speak? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Don.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that this morning at LAFCO, the commission re-elected me as first vice chair of the LAFCO commission. So I have that job for another year if I stay on the board.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Great.
Madam Chair, this is Director Houston.
Yes, Director.
Hi. So a couple of things. Well, congratulations, Madam Chair, on your re-election as chair of Metropolitan for 2 more years. And also congratulations, Don. That's great news. And I also want to say thank you so much to our staff. You guys have been doing a great job. I'm also really proud to see all these awards that we're getting. So I know that you all are working hard, and it's truly appreciated. So I want you to hear that from me. A couple other things real quick. I was going to ask the question, but I actually looked at our YouTube channel. I see some of our meetings are now starting to be posted. So thank you, Patrick, for moving that along. And I would like to ask when we'll have a link from our website so people know they can go to the YouTube channel to see the current ones that have been posted. So if you could answer that question. But also, I want to make another comment. Obviously, there's a lot of media press going on right now, especially with the elections coming up. And at least where I live in the beach cities on the west side, I'm seeing a lot of articles about elections and candidates. And quite frankly, there's a lot of discussion about West Basin and our desalination program. So it's not in these clips, maybe it'll be next month's clips, but it seems that different candidates running for different offices are talking about us and our project. So I would say, I think it's really imperative for this district to give some sort of an update to the public, because right now we really haven't had much public discussion of the desal and the EIR since things were approved back last November, so almost a year ago. And again, there's multiple candidates running, whether it's water board seats or for city council seats, that continue to talk about West Basin's desal. And I've even gotten some people who've reached out to me because people are confused as to what the status is. So I would just put it on this. I request that the general manager work with legal counsel to provide an update on a future meeting, probably a board meeting, about the EIR. Because I think that we need to at least be talking about it so people are not confused as to what's going on. So that's first. But my question back to Pat was just, thank you for getting the videos on the YouTube channel, but if you could let me know the status of when you're going to have the link from the website. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Houston. Thank you for those kind comments regarding the awards and getting the information up on YouTube. Yeah, we're still working on that with our IT staff. I think what I'll do is I'll send you back an answer in writing just once I know exactly where they're at on this particular issue. But we're working on it to get it up there. We wanted to get the recorded, which we've been able to do on GoToMeeting. Get them up, get them as clean as possible. So we start right at the beginning of the meeting and end right at the end of the meeting. We're getting a little bit better at that, our third or fourth go around. But as far as getting up on the website, let me get back to you on that, on the status when I talk to my IT staff.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great. Thank you, Pat. And thank
You're
you,
welcome,
staff.
Scott.
Are you finished, Patrick?
Dr. Gray, this is Carol.
Director Kwan.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the PIE team. You guys, I've been trying to attend, like I said earlier, some of the virtual meeting or seminar or tour that you guys have done. Is very you guys becoming expert, all of you. It's very good job. A lot of contents and and that's why I guess people nowadays staying home a lot, and they actually, I see a lot more participation, and it's all good. Good job. Good job. Thank you.
I think that's all.
Thank you, Director Kwan.
I think that's all the board members. I would like to say thank you to the staff this morning. I thank you for accolades and words of appreciation to staff for continuing to do a great job. And you do, and you really do. And I think you, because of the work that you do, West Basin continues to be a leading organization in the industry. So again, thank you. Even though we're under the COVID-19 era, well, still continue to do great work. So thank you, Pat, and to your staff for continuing to do outstanding work representing West Basin. So with that, those are our comments. Any future agenda items, board members? Seeing none, thank you, staff. Thank you, public, for being on the line this morning. Thank you for your interest in West Basin, what we do, and look forward to the next meeting. So with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.